I've built websites on WordPress for years, and for a long time, I thought that was just part of the deal. The plugin updates, the broken layouts after a routine update, the hosting headaches, the security patches you find out about at the worst possible time. I genuinely believed that's what running a website felt like. Then I started using Onepage, and I want to be upfront with you from the start. This isn't one of those everything is perfect and you should switch immediately videos. I'm going to show you both sides, walk you through where Onepage wins clearly, and tell you honestly when WordPress still makes sense. Because picking the wrong platform has cost people real time and real money, and I'd rather give you the full picture. Before I get into specific features, I want to talk about something that doesn't get enough attention in these comparisons. The experience of actually using each platform day to day. Because this sets the tone for everything else. WordPress is a content management system. It was built for blogging, and over the years it evolved into this massive, flexible ecosystem that can technically do almost anything. The key word there is technically. Because in practice, the more you want it to do, the more plugins you need. And the more plugins you stack, the more fragile the whole thing kind of gets. I've been in situations where updating one plugin completely broke a client's homepage. That's not an edge case. That's a very normal WordPress Tuesday. When I opened Onepage for the first time, the difference was immediate. The interface is clean. There's no jumping between the admin dashboard and a live preview. No plugin chaos. No, where's that setting again? Rabbit holes. You open it. You build something, you publish. That's the whole workflow. And for anyone who's spent time wrestling with WordPress, that simplicity is just not a small thing. This is the part people underestimate the most when they're choosing a platform, and it's probably where the gap between those two tools is the widest in real life. With WordPress, you're the administrator of everything. Your server, your database, your security. Every plugin update, every PHP version compatibility check, every backup, that's your responsibility or someone you're paying to handle. And here's what makes that genuinely risky. Outdated plugins are the most common entry point for malware on WordPress sites. I've had to clean up hacked sites before. It takes hours. It's stressful and it's completely avoidable if you're building on a platform that handles all of that on the back end. With Onepage, maintenance is not a thing you think about. No updates to run, no server configuration, no security patches. The Onepage team manages the infrastructure and your websites are automatically optimized for page speed without you touching a setting. Think about what that actually means. To get that time back, not just the hours spent fixing things, but the mental overhead of knowing you have to keep track of it all, that disappears. Let me walk you through what the actual building experience looks like in each platform. In WordPress, the editing experience depends almost entirely on which page builder you're running. Elementor, Divi, Gutenberg, they all behave differently and have their own learning curves. And even on the best day, you're constantly switching between the backend admin and the front-end view. You make a change, save, reload the live page, something's slightly off, you go back in. It's a feedback loop that eats time. In Onepage, changes apply in real time in the same view you're editing in. Every element on the page, text, images, buttons, sections, editable with a click. You adjust the font, color, the layout, the spacing, all from one place without switching modes. It's a genuinely visual editing experience, not a simulation of one. But the part that changes things entirely is Onepage AI. You can go from a blank project to a fully structured, copywritten, styled website in about 16 seconds. You write a short prompt, who you are, who's it for, what action you want people to take, and the AI builds out the full page. Header, hero, features section, testimonials, call to action, everything. And it's not a generic cookie cutter layout. You choose a style before you generate. Direct, which is built for conversions. Modern, which is the clean business standard, or formal, which is minimal, and conservative. And the AI adapts both the design and the copy to match that style. I tested this with a co-working space concept. The prompt was 2 sentences. In under 20 seconds, I had a hero with a strong tagline, an advantages section, client testimonials, a step-by-step how it works, and a booking CTA. On WordPress, with a blank Elementor setup, I would have spent 30 to 45 minutes just getting the structure in place before writing a single word of copy. And if a section isn't quite right, you don't have to rebuild it. Roll it again. Each generation gives you a completely new layout and copy. You can keep rolling until you land on something that works. And the whole process still takes minutes. This is the category where I think the difference matters most, especially if you're using your website as an actual marketing tool rather than just a digital presence. In WordPress, building any kind of form or funnel means adding plugins, usually multiple. Your lead data ends up in an email inbox or a spreadsheet somewhere. And if you want it flowing into a CRM, you'll have to connect to Zapier or Make in the middle. Every layer you add is another potential point of failure, another thing to maintain, another thing that can quietly break after an update without you knowing. In Onepage, forms and funnels are native to the platform. You build them in the same editor where you built the page. And the conditional logic, meaning the ability to route users down different paths based on what they select, is built right in, no code required. I built a simple lead funnel with branching logic entirely inside the builder. The user picks his service category, gets routed to the right booking calendar based on their answer, uploads any relevant files, and lands on a custom confirmation page. The whole thing took one session. Every lead that comes through goes directly into Onepage's built-in CRM. From the same dashboard where you built the page, you can see who filled out your form, what they selected, how long it took them, and where people dropped off, and what your conversion rate is. If you want to send that data somewhere else, HubSpot, Zapier, Make, a webhook, those integrations are available, but the default setup already does the job. That's a fundamentally different position than WordPress, where you're stitching together 3 or 4 separate tools just to collect the lead and know what happened to that lead. I said I'd be honest, so here it is. WordPress still has a clear advantage when you're building something genuinely large scale and complex. A news portal with thousands of articles, multiple contributor roles, and editorial workflows. A membership community with tiered access levels and an integrated forum. A large-scale e-commerce store with advanced inventory systems and deep custom functionality. For those scenarios, the sheer flexibility of the WordPress ecosystem, paired with a developer who knows how to work with it, hard to match. The plugin library is massive, and there are things WordPress can be configured to do that no other platform touches. But if you're a business owner, a freelancer, a marketing team, or an agency building websites to generate leads, book calls, sell services, or create a professional presence for a brand, you're not in that scenario. And for that scenario, the maintenance burden and the technical overhead of WordPress is not an advantage. It's just weight. Here's how I think about it now. WordPress is powerful, but high maintenance. It gives you maximum flexibility, but also makes you responsible for everything. Onepage is focused, fast, and built around the outcome that most people actually care about. A website that looks great, works reliably, collects leads, and doesn't require a technical background or an ongoing maintenance budget to keep running. If I'm starting a new project today, a landing page, a client site, a funnel, a business website, I'm opening Onepage. Not because it's the new shiny thing, but because I build faster in. I can hand it off to a team member without training them on a system, and everything I need is in one place without the maintenance tax. If you've been putting off launching something because the technical side of WordPress feels like too much, or you've already built on WordPress and you're frustrated with how much time it takes, or you've already built on WordPress and you're frustrated with how much time you spend keeping it running instead of growing with it, go try Onepage. The free plan is an actual free plan. You can build, publish, and collect leads before you commit to anything. Links in the description. If this was useful, hit like. It genuinely helps other people find the video. Drop a comment below if you're on WordPress right now and you're feeling that friction, or if you've already made the switch and want to share how it went. I read all the comments. Subscribe for more reviews like this, and I'll see you in the next one.